Welcome, horrible people, to the Horrible Opinions Podcast, and we are back again with our third episode on the Last of Us series, covering the fourth and fifth episodes of The Last of Us, which totally isn't confusing, but we're back doing it again, and as always, I'm your still, all fungied up the brown-eyed host, Kenny.
I'm Daniel. I think we should do 2 episodes on the next episode. That way, then it would be... Would it be right? Or do we have to do 3 episodes? We have to do 4?
Oh god, no, this is 4-5. This is our third episode, so we're like 2 episodes, so we need to do 3 on the next episode.
Okay, we'll do 3 on the next episode then.
It better be a good episode.
Nah, it's not. I actually don't.
You?
And I'm Kim.
That's Kim!
Oh, that's Kim in the house! Whoa, whoa, whoa! So, we're doing what I'm going to call the Kansas City series.
Yeah. Kansas City arc.
Yeah.
The Kansas City arc. We got 2 episodes that take place around Kansas City, Missouri. It's a city in Missouri.
Kansas City, Kansas.
No, and so when your Kansas City Chiefs win the Super Bowl, that's the Missouri team. Just to be clear to everyone out there who thinks maybe it's not, certain former presidents and whatnot. Kansas City's in Missouri, mostly.
I thought like half of it was in Kansas.
I don't think it's that much. But I don't know, man. How much St. Louis is in Illinois? Any of it? And I did a hard S on purpose because there are people that hear that hard S and it makes them, filled with rage. And I'm all about just angering our few listeners.
I want those numbers lower.
Oh, we could possibly go lower unless we're going to stop listening.
I might.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. So our last episode was the Bill and Frank saga, where basically we have that great story all contained, and then Joel and Ellie roll out of there fully kitted up. They got a pickup truck. They're headed out to Wyoming to find Tommy.
Did you just say Hawaii-oming?
Hawaii-oming.
Don't worry about it. So we got to trek across the land, and we get some hijinks. I believe Kim had a note about we find a Hank Williams tape in the pickup truck, and they put it in and start playing it. He's like, "This is pretty good," and Kim's like, "What did you say about Hank Williams, son?"
I wrote on here. I said equals Johnny Cashy.
I would say
Johnny Cashy.
To be honest, because it's the same song from this part in the game. And when I heard it in the game, I thought that was Johnny Cash. So yeah, that's fair.
Mm-hmm. See?
Oh
Accurate.
Man, you guys got to get your country roots.
No, I'm fine.
You don't have to. Hank Williams Sr. He's an icon, just like Linda Ronstadt. So no, it's good. It's great. Sets the tone because it's like an old the old West sort of.
Yeah.
We get.
It kind of
Kansas.
is the Old West, if you think about it, because they're going to a new town, and they get ambushed in this new town by banditos who want their shit.
Which, honestly, is also pre-apocalyptic Kansas City.
I don't know if you could say that.
I can say that, but honestly, I feel more that way about St. Louis. I don't think Kansas City is anywhere near as high on the danger list as old St. Louis. I'm sure certain parts of it, but that's every big city. So they get to the outskirts of Kansas City in their pickup truck. They're bonding a little bit. We pulled off and had a little camping segment, though, right, hon?
Mm-hmm.
And what happened at the camping segment? There was a big breakthrough? Well, okay.
They're bonding.
She's not recalling. They're bonding over a book.
The pun book.
The punny book.
No
written
pun
by,
intended to.
By, Too.
Too. Because it's a pun.
Yeah, also a pun. Is that, so...
What was the mermaid's favorite math class, or whatever,
No, what,
No.
Oh, yeah, you're right, yeah.
Algebra.
Ha. He just says, that's stupid, but you see it on his face. He's like, "Urgh."
He's amused.
Yeah, and then Ellie wakes up, and there's like a bubbling pot next to her. She's like peeking out. What the fuck? She opens the boiling pot and puts her face right next to it.
Yeah, this kid's
like the boiling kettle. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, that fire's hot no matter how long you've been in a quarantine, your whole life, whatever. but she has a bad reaction to coffee, the smell and everything, and I'm with her.
Coffee's good, but I'm off.
Coffee's good.
This is I'm now 2 weeks with no caffeine, so I'm done.
Oh, so it's been 2 weeks since you broke the coffee beaker.
No, just 2 weeks since I had any caffeine. It's a choice.
I mean, I quit daily doses. Now I'll occasionally have some, and when you've quit it completely, like needing like a daily dose of caffeine to survive, like for me it was a can of Mountain Dew, to like you only do it like in like maybe once a week or something like that. Oh man, I feel like I'm gonna die halfway through it because
Yeah.
like my heart feels like it's racing.
Uh-huh.
It's crazy, but I still do it because
I mean,
this is exhausting.
It's work, you know. You're working, man.
This is-
You're working, man, like Joel.
Joel's big time working, man. He's working hard to get him to Kansas City, and the tunnel's blocked by goddamn, was it Sarah Lee truck?
Yeah.
Goddamn Sarah Lee blocking tunnels,
Bad.
and
Must
it's
have been a bad driver, because on the other side of that blocked tunnel, it is 100% clear.
wide open. That's got to be insulting. And they're like, well, we're just gonna go around. And here's my thing, though. I was telling Kim, like, why don't they just drive like off the road, up and over the hill,
And then end up on the other side.
and then end up on the other side of the tunnel?
That's not
Well-
how tunnels work.
There was a hill.
Nah.
There's gonna be an above the
Nah,
tunnel.
this is some video game logic.
It is. I can understand if like a bridge was blocked and we were going over a river. It's like, okay, we can't just drive through the river. Like your horses are on the other side of the river, but you're on the wrong side of the river.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't
It's
know.
not like an on-ramp where you can just get on and off at the...
Well,
like, it's
but
not...
also there's no cops. You don't have to use an on and off ramp. Just
Mm,
go off the road. Oh no, you might have to like drive through like a fence or like a railing or something.
I should point out that in the game, this took place in Pittsburgh.
Did it? I didn't remember Kansas City specifically.
But they said because where they were shooting in Canada, it was easier to find something that looked like Kansas City than Pittsburgh. But I don't know what either one looks like. So
I say we've been to Kansas City. We did not drive through Pittsburgh. I gotta tell you, other than like iconic landmarks in large cities, a large American city is a large American city.
what is the iconic landmark in Kansas City?
I mean, you've got the race... Don't you have the racetrack there?
I'd say all I can point out is the sporting like places, and all you got to do, you could literally for most stadiums, except for locals, you could just put up whatever name you want up there, and people probably believe it's a stadium. Like I know what Kauffman Stadium looks like because I've driven by it a bunch, but
I don't remember seeing no stadium when they were up looking around.
that's what I'm saying. They didn't use any like big landmarks, so like they could have said it was any Midwestern American city.
I should have said what's a city?
Like-
Name a city. They should have said it was Kansas City.
They could have literally said it was St. Louis and then draw an arch in the background.
There you go.
Well,
But also, how far did they get? So Pittsburgh makes more sense though, because that's a hell of a lot closer.
but you want that bonding. Like, you want them to be together longer for some bonding.
Right, some off-camera
Some
bonding.
off-camera bonding.
Because yeah, that's a longer drive. Because to Connecticut from where did we originate that trip? That was in Missouri, right? Was like 18 hours. Now, I gonna guess that a trip from around the Boston QZ, which they were still nearish, to Kansas City is gonna be in that ballpark. But there's also like there's probably not clear roads the whole way and stuff like that. Plus, they have to stop every hour or so to get more gas because, as we discussed in the last episode,
Gas
the
goes
gas,
bad, yeah.
its potency is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just say they've had what 2 days off camera to get this far.
Sure.
No,
They're best friends now. Not yet.
they're not
Not
yet.
yet.
There's some cracking.
I'll point out when it happens.
I think we know when it happens. I think there's a rock solid joke.
Nope, it's before that.
You think it's before that? I think there's some cracking, but I think that's when they're in love, family style, not.
I mean, you got to be
Sexual.
careful saying family style when you're in like Missouri, Kansas, right?
Yeah. I mean, we're like not south, but south enough where I think that still probably happened.
Allegedly, I don't know.
Allegedly, I don't know. You've put some moves on me sometimes, and they almost worked, but you didn't get it that time, bud.
I will.
One of these days, a wink and a smile. So we've got some bonding. We've made it to Kansas City. The clear highway path that we want to do to kind of bypass
it's
the
blocked,
city.
so they have to go around it, which leads them into the city. And then they're using paper maps, and this is Ellie's first time in a car, so she's not really good at maps yet. So they get lost.
Who is? And it's clear. It should be worth pointing out that they could have gone back all the way to another interstate, but Joel's the one who's like, "Fuck that! We're gonna go in here. We'll just be quick, hop in and out and around through town, and we'll be right back in the interstate." So
yeah,
they could have avoided all this.
True.
And he should know big cities equal danger.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that's a big lapse in judgment from Joel there.
I think
it seems
probably thought because going there they didn't know that the Fedra had just been overthrown, and so he probably thought that they would just be in their little quarantine zone instead of having all these people out and about.
Maybe, but then you also find out later though that they've heard horror stories about the Kansas City Fedra group, and it's like why you would even want to get anywhere remotely close to them if they were the ones still in charge.
Yeah,
it's
that's true.
So I'm questioning. I think he's worried about Tommy. He's impatient at this point. It's my guess.
He's a little eager beaver.
Yeah, but they make it in town. They're lost, like you said. Ellie's like, this is only my second day ever in a car, fuckhead. Mm-hmm. I feel like she said something like that. But, and they pull around a corner, and there's a guy. He's like, "Oh, help me! I'm hurt." Now I'm immediately like, "Nope."
Just drive past him.
Just drive past him. He tells Ellie, "Buckle up." She's like, "Why?" She's like, "Just buckle up." And they start speeding, and clearly the guy's not hurt. It's an ambush. Someone throws a cinder block off the roof, busts the windshield. Joel crashes into a laundromat. Gunfire. They're pinned down behind a truck. Joel manages to take out one guy across the street.
It's not until Joel has Ellie safely hidden behind a wall that he's then able to focus in and take out the guy and go all Joel mode.
Yeah,
so once
he doesn't want her to see.
Once he no longer has to worry about her, he's able to
do his
thing.
Right. He's already established he's showing concern not just for her physical well-being, but her mental, with the whole not wanting her to see the dead bodies in the previous episode, where they, just burned alive or killed and burned innocent people, but he doesn't want to see her to see the extreme acts of violence that he's capable of.
Mm-hmm. And here we get the use of Scrotum's gun, because she took that gun in the last episode, and now it's going to come into play because this is also coming into play. Joel don't hear so good from his right ear, so a guy is able to get the drop on him and starts choking him out, and she has to rescue him. And interestingly, she pulls up her knife first, but then ends up shooting the guy. Which
she probably should have just gone with a knife, but that's probably a little too personal for someone like her.
Too personal at this point for her, yeah.
Yeah. So the gun, which is a bold choice. Now, she shoots the guy, but it's not a kill shot.
It is not a kill shot. Brian is still alive.
And Brian seems like he's at most young 20s. Brian is a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially. Teenager to young 20s. And he's like, please, no, like, look, hey, you got me, it's okay. Hey, look, can you just take me to my mom?
We're not fighting now. We're not fighting
we're not fighting. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Hey, Mom. And Joel's like, Ellie, go back on the other side and turn around. And as soon as she turns around, Brian knows, like, oh, like, fuck. He's like, no, Mom. And then we hear, stabbing noises?
Oh, yeah, he gets stabbed. Joel likes to stab people.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're not going to waste ammo if you don't
You're not going to waste ammo.
So Joel just puts the kid down. Like, that's tough. And Joel probably puts people down, like, with a kill shot, like, as quickly as possible, so you don't have to deal with this part of it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get a chance to call for them, because now, all of a sudden, like, obviously I'm not a hardened by the 20 years of an apocalypse killer guy, but I feel like no matter how hardened I'd be, if they start screaming for their mother and they're a kid like that, even though I would feel like I had to do it, that's gonna remind me that this is a person.
Nope.
Kim doesn't care. She's cold-blooded. She might actually kill me.
I'm not a violent person, but when I saw this scene, I was like, no. Like, I'm pretty sure I wrote in my notes. I was like, kill that mofo. Like, I'm.
Yeah, but it's easier to kill them when you're like with her crying for their mother. Like, oh
No.
god.
Whatever. They didn't have to ambush this car. That's 100% on
No,
them.
I agree. I'm saying you still have to do it, but
He
it's,
asked for it.
I'm not saying don't kill them. I'm saying kill them quick and clean, so you don't have to hear that. Oh yeah, that was a human being. You kill him quick and clean. That's just a guy that tried to jump me. Now it's a boy crying for his mother who did a dumb fucking thing.
Yeah, well.
But
Fuck
Joel,
play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
yeah, fuck around, find out.
Yeah.
So Joel kills Brian. Because now we know his name. It could have been a guy. Now I'm like, fucking Brian.
God
you
damn
idiot.
it, Brian.
God damn. And then they got Brian. They killed Brian. Brian's dead.
Also,
Hey,
when they were in the shootout, and they were across the street, and they were yelling at them like NPCs in a video game.
Oh
What's
no!
Fucker, get out here!
An NPC is a non-playable character, so they're the computer-controlled things running around in your video game.
Like bots?
Yeah, bots would be an example, but a lot of times, they're... Yeah, no, bots works.
Just the enemies.
For you, it's fine. Yeah, enemies, it could be friendlies, but just things that aren't controlled by a player.
Okay.
You would say a non-playable character.
Okay. Glad you cleared that up for me, because I didn't know what that was.
Yeah. So Joel and Ellie went to the other side of the room there and hid out after killing some
So it's
mofos.
important. This is where Ellie is no longer cargo, because he shows her how to use. He teaches her a little gun lesson, and this is the moment where they're tight now. This is it.
Like, I'm going to trust you with a gun. Now, the gun did not blow up in the face like I thought it was going to.
Well, doesn't he ask her, like, have you killed anyone before or something like that? And she goes, yeah. She's killed someone before.
Right. So
Doesn't go into detail. She's saying...
It wasn't my first time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which we'll get more explanation on that later, because that's a pretty big plot point later.
Sure is.
But I, for some reason in my head, I thought that the whole her having a gun without Joel knowing it, I thought it was going to be one of those situations where they come up on a checkpoint type thing where, hey, we need to trust you. You need to trust us. We will put down all our firearms.
And then she would.
Joel, yeah, well, or Joel wouldn't realize it was in her bag or something, and she would forget or something.
Nah, even in the game, it's pretty much the same thing. But in the game, it's a guy that's like drowning Joel, and she shoots him.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, so she's allowed to have the gun now. Now, I think part of the reason Joel wasn't necessarily pissed about her having the gun, because, well, other than the fact that she did save him with it, was Joel can't know for sure if she took it off the guy that was shot outside the hole, or if she had snuck it with him.
I think he knew.
I
They
think
had
he'd suspect.
rifles.
Well, they might have also had a handgun, though. Just because you have a rifle doesn't mean you can't have another gun.
I don't.
Joel's routinely walking around with a handgun and a rifle.
Yeah, but you think that Joel would know the types of guns that Bill has, and
Bill had all types of guns.
Would recognize.
And that was Frank's hidden gun.
Oh, Frank. Yeah.
Yeah,
that
I guess that. Sure.
I was saying, like, if he had known for sure that she like had it the whole time, I think he would have been like, "You jerk," but okay, like it worked out. You're lucky, but you jerk.
Well, she's still not exactly following instructions, because he says put it in the bag, and she doesn't put it in the bag.
Puts it right in her pocket. This girl.
You're gonna shoot your ass off, I think is what he said.
Yeah, you're gonna shoot your ass
And that's
off.
gonna happen next episode.
Wouldn't happen to me. No ass. Take that, world.
Uh-huh.
So they
scamper off into some buildings to hide, and then
43 floors.
Well, they're not gonna climb all 43. They're gonna climb until Joel's little leggers can't go anymore.
Which was like 30 something, or maybe it was 50 some odd floors, and they made it to 43.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
And Ellie's calling them out, like, "Get up, lazy!" Like, lazy.
He says he's 53.
Yeah, he's old.
I think
56.
they're going to the 56. I think they're going to the 43rd floor, but they only make it to like 32nd or 33rd.
He's 56. Also, I feel like they had him a little more gray in this one.
But it's daylight, so you can see all the grays.
That's fair.
And it's got that yellow Missouri light.
Like Mexico.
Yeah. Or Africa.
Yeah, of course. So we break off from them before they go to bed there, or we've probably skipped like one of the little cutbacks of what's going on in Kansas City.
Right. So we cut to what do we cut to?
Kathleen
interrogating the doctor.
Oh, Kathleen interrogating the doctor. So here we learn that Fedra has been overthrown by these revolutionaries, and Kathleen is the leader of them, and she big mad.
She's big mad. Kim's not intimidated because she looks like a soccer mom.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I thought we weren't going to say that.
Well, you're...
I think the consensus is that this is like a kindergarten teacher.
Right. That's how I think I made mention, like I said, she looked homely. And I didn't want it to come off as sexist, but I guess apparently it did. I mean, she had the whole, like, messy bun going on.
Oh, she's fine as hell.
Like,
look, she's played by Melanie Lynskey, who I absolutely love ever since. Well, Dan, do you want to take a shot at what I've loved her in?
No.
Like what? No,
I don't know.
A little thing called Rose Red.
Oh yeah, she's in Rose Red. But she's also in Yellow Jackets, and Yellow Jackets is awesome.
Which Yellow Jackets is on the to-do list, and the mainstream audience probably knows her most from probably 2.5 Men.
Is that a thing? I don't know what that is.
That was that show with John Cryer, Charlie Sheen.
No.
And then John Cryer and Ashton Kutcher.
Oh, was she the half? She was the boy they were taking care of?
Yeah, she was the boy.
Okay.
Yeah. No, which really threw me for a loop, because everything I've seen her in, which I haven't seen Yellow Jackets yet, but everything I've seen Melanie Lynskey in, she's played like just happy-go-lucky, like sweet characters. So to see her in this role, to me, I'm like, oh, that's kind of actually extra terrifying for me, because that, like, okay, you've gone through some shit to be like this now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this isn't, like, when Jeffrey Dean Morgan walks out in The Walking Dead as Negan, you look at him and go, oh, okay, yeah, you look like you're menacing, but you look like you might have always been menacing.
But he wasn't always menacing.
He wasn't, but you would believe that he is. This is something where it's a character that will, like, Kim was coming to grips with, like, she doesn't look like she would be that. But she is.
She wasn't that until probably about, like, 2 weeks ago.
When, Henry,
Well, we'll get there.
Yeah. That was really that soon, though? That recent?
No,
that could have...
It was 10... Well,
For her...
10 days ago is when the Fedra was overthrown.
Right, but she had to have been pissed at Henry before then, because Henry did what he did to get medicine.
Well, Henry did what he did, which then leads to the brother dying, which then leads to the uprising. So it's pretty close, I think.
It can't be, because the medicine he got was to cure the brother's leukemia. The brother seems to be cured of his leukemia.
Okay, so the brother was in prison for a while, and then he died, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, because they talk about that. They tortured and killed her brother in the same cell that the doctor was in.
Yeah.
There we go. Timelines,
We
man.
did it.
Timelines are confusing in these 2 episodes, because maybe we do a little jump back at the start of the 5th episode, where Kim and I were trying to be like, oh, well, she already killed the doctor. Spoiler, she kills the doctor, which is insane.
It's especially insane because she doesn't kill the doctor after the first meeting. It's not until they bring back the wounded people who encountered Joel, and they're trying to fix a guy up, and she's like, I have a doctor. Would a doctor be able to help here? And it's like, nah, he's a goner. Then she goes and kills the doctor. Like, oh, I guess we won't ever need a doctor again if you can't,
never need a doctor,
you can't fix this one thing.
Yeah. Who's probably your most valuable person with valuable skill set in an apocalyptic world?
Ben.
The doctor.
Oh,
Ben.
shit.
Yeah. After Ben, it's a doctor.
Right. Yeah, a doctor.
So
and from the sounds of things, it sounds like they don't have any.
Who has any doctors left? None.
Yeah, but how useful is a doctor if you don't even have the medicine to do anything?
More useful than
now that they've taken out Fedra, they have the medicine.
So they have everything that they...
Maybe not everything, but they have access to those resources now. But it's still, a doctor can probably throw together something. Well, I'm not talking like homeopathic remedies, but like a doctor's going to know how to properly splint an arm. If you bust an arm.
This is all part of my campaign to get her removed from leadership, because she is leading on emotion and not logic.
Oh,
Right.
yeah. I don't see her leading them anywhere, really, of worth. Ooh, good cup.
Thank you.
Yeah. I didn't realize I left one of those there.
Yeah.
I love Rasta lemonade. No Rasta lemonade in the apocalypse. Yeah, she shoots the fucking doctor. That's insane.
It's the doctor
Okay.
that delivered her, too.
Yeah.
So I guess one thing that I like grappled with her character is like how did she? I'm trying to understand like how she got all these people to like join her and her cause and try to figure out like I was trying to figure out like what does she have something on all these other people that makes them want to follow her or like because I understand that they're all part of the resistance but I don't understand why follow her.
Right, she just kind of inherited.
Her brother was the revolutionary. Her brother was the Martin Luther King Jr. or whatever, an analogy similar to that.
Yeah.
Maybe closer to a Malcolm X.
Yeah, her brother. Well, we don't know. No, it sounds like her brother was like non-violent,
not inciting violence.
Yeah, because like her brother wanted her to forgive Henry.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I think it's just her brother was already their hero, and then he died and became a martyr, and she's able to ride that martyrdom to...
She just became the next person to...
Right, and they're like, oh, well, that's his sister, and so she'll lead us, but she definitely, like Daniel said, was led by emotion. And like Daniel said, that's why he doesn't think women should lead, because they're all emotional, and he doesn't think women can do
that's
things.
Sexist.
That's not what I said. Daniel's nodding his head yes.
No,
that's what he said. That's not what he said, but that's what some other people might say, and those people will be idiots.
I haven't read any criticism of this episode because most of the Last of Us criticism is garbage, but
they're too focused on 3 and 7.
Yeah, and then
man,
I can't wait to read it for season 2. But
she killed the doctor. God, so this is where we find out that she's hunting for a man named Henry.
Man named Henry, yes, and his brother Sam.
Now, they go... So first, we meet her second in command.
Her second in command, Perry, who is played by Jeffrey Pierce, who played Tommy in the game.
Oh.
That's why I went,
and he has the sickest beard I have ever seen.
So with that beard... it's crazy how much with that beard, the way the gray pattern and the look in his eyes, he looks so much like I'm blanking on how to pronounce his name.
I know who you're talking about right off the bat. Psych, right?
Yes, Psych, Luck of the
Irish? Luck of the Irish?
I think that might have been what it was called. Timothy Almondson.
Yeah.
Okay, look, I'm going to pull up a picture of him here. You guys do it at home, too. Pull up a picture of Timothy Almondson with some of his beards. He's got some good dye jobs going on, but yeah, him and Jeffrey Pierce, man.
I see it.
Like, Jeffrey Pierce could play his, 5-year older brother or something, which, that's the other Timmy O to me. There's lots of... If your name is Timothy and your last name starts with O, you are going to be successful. Timmy O's. But Jeffrey Pierce... I know I recognize him from something else live action. My brain doesn't work well enough to pick out, voices like that.
I didn't pick out his voice either, but...
Yeah, I didn't realize that was Tommy. Plus, I haven't played the game in over a decade.
Oh, he was in Love, Death, and Robots.
That's that animated thing that I showed you a bunch of, where there's a bunch of different random... Uh-huh. Yeah. So, clearly he does a lot of voice work, but he acts, and I've seen him... So I've probably seen him in those 2 episodes of Justified. But there's something I know him from, and I cannot put a finger on it. It's probably just some random bit on a TV show. But it's driving me crazy. I'm going to scroll through this. Anyway, yeah, so that's our second video, voice actor from the game to show up in the show. Yes?
Merle? Him? Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and he killed it. Perry takes Kathleen. He's like, okay, I gotta show you something. And they go down to a sub-basement of one of the buildings, and there's a floor cave-in type thing.
Kind of like a sinkhole forming, right?
Yeah, and so we, the audience, don't really know why this is such a big deal, other than, a sinkhole. Maybe we shouldn't be in this building. So it's like, well, why don't we just move the building? But or move from the building. Kathleen's like, we will tell them later, and Perry's not comfortable with that. Now, of course, knowing the show that we're in, I assume it's some sort of fungal type thing, like a massive fungus.
That's what I thought too. Yeah.
Like the roots were breaking things down, and that's
it almost seems like it was breathing, like it kept whooshing, right?
Yeah, and so we find out later what's really going on under there, which is kind of crazy, but also not.
It's neat.
I mean, I still have issues with the reveal.
But again, here's some bad leadership, because he's like, we should tell everyone and we should do something about this now. And she's like, no, we got to find Henry and Sam. For what reason? So we can kill them.
Right. Yeah, which is not going to help your group survive. Like, Henry, we don't know anything about Henry yet, but it's like, is Henry actively trying to destroy your group? That's what we have to assume. Otherwise,
she's painting it that way. She made it out to seem like Henry used a radio and called in Joel and Ellie to just kill people for whatever reason.
Yeah. It's bad leader. I almost agree with Daniel said earlier, but that's too generalized of the female.
Think about the female leaders we've seen in this show.
Marlene.
I mean,
good leader.
Tess led Joel.
Good leader again.
Good leader.
See, I flipped it around on you.
Yeah. I think it's just got to be... It's Kansas City that's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kansas City, Missouri, right?
No, the Kansas side. I think Kathleen's probably from the Kansas side of Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell that she's got that baditude.
She a baddie.
Yeah. Bad. Oh, so weird seeing her be, like, bad. So... Then Perry takes her, is like, okay, I've got to show you this other thing, and they go into an attic crawl space, and we think that he's leading them to something that, Joel and Ellie, like something related to them, but it's not. We get up there, and there are these like little Superman-looking child drawings all over the walls and whatnot, and empty cans of food, and it's like, are they fucking hunting a kid?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck? So these two episodes, 4 and 5, they've go back and forth on their time over these last couple days, and they don't hold your hand with it. You kind of have to just catch up, which I kind of like, kind of don't. Like, it was definitely threw me off of the timeline of events.
I don't think it's that confusing.
Well, it didn't hurt anything, but I don't know.
I struggle with, I struggle with timeline things. Like, when I'm reading a book, I have a hard time trying to piece everything together if it jumps around too much, but I don't think this was confusing at all.
We'll readdress it when we get to the start of this next episode, where I'll talk about my complaints there. So anyway, that's when we cut back. Joel and Ellie are now on top of, or they're up in the high floor of the
on their way up to the high floor rise of building. Yes. Words. Ellie asked Joel how he knew that the guy wasn't hurt in the ambush, and he says that he's been on both sides of these ambushes.
Mm-hmm.
And then she asks him if he had killed any innocent people before, and he just kind of looks at her.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure Joel and Tess both said we are not good people.
Yep, they both said it.
They've been survivors, and that's a big thing that comes up again in these episodes, and it's what I think it's what we're building to throughout the season, is we're turning Joel from someone who's merely trying to survive to someone who's trying to live.
There's
the difference is
that, and the big theme of the season kind of gets revealed in the next episode.
In 5, or you mean 6?
In 5, when we...
Is the big theme humanity?
No, the theme is, I don't want to say toxic love, but the toxic things you will do for a loved one.
I mean, toxic, or just how you'll abandon all your morals to protect your dependent. Like, you'll abandon everything that you think is good and decent. You will do horrible things that you never thought you would have been capable of to protect your loved ones.
Yeah.
And we've definitely seen that. But does that make you a bad person?
I don't know. Well, okay, so here's the thing. A hero will sacrifice a loved one to save the world, while a villain will sacrifice the world to save a loved one.
This is very true. Mr. Freeze.
Yes, you're exactly right.
Yeah. He just wants to save his wife, and he's the bad guy.
That's right. It's a classic Mr. Freeze plot.
Did I lose you, hon?
I think so.
I just pointed out an exact, on the nose thing of what Daniel said. So a hero will let a loved one die if it means saving the world, where a villain will end the world to save their loved one. Mr. Freeze, his whole driving motivation, well, there's more nuance to it, I'm sure, more of the comic books, but is he wants to save his wife, and to go about doing it, he does bad things to make it happen. So
like Henry.
Just like Henry, yes.
Like Joel.
Well, Joel hasn't really done anything bad yet, right?
Joel's implied that he has done bad things to survive.
That's true, yeah.
Maybe even for things that are smaller than saving your loved one.
Yeah. He hasn't destroyed the world yet.
He's destroyed some bathrooms, though.
Hey, who hasn't,
With all that coffee. Yeah. They get into a room because Joel's old knees are just shot. Joel says, yeah, we're going to sleep here tonight, and in the morning, we will look over the city to see if we can figure out a way out. He's sprinkling broken glass down to have a noise trap to make sure no one can sneak up on him. That fucking works. They're starting to set up, Ellie's built some little beds out of some, couch cushions. Which, why they didn't just sleep on the couches, though? Now that I think about it.
Maybe it wasn't positioned in a way that Joel could see the door.
And high-rise building, they bolted down the couches so you couldn't chuck them out the window.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll say that. So
and it's important for Joel to sleep on his right side so that his left ear is up.
Yeah. So let's see. We've had another pun before this.
This is the pun right here.
Well, so before this one, Ellie at one point says, what award? Or why did the Scarecrow win an award?
Yeah, because he was outstanding. He was outstanding in his field.
And this is Joel answering.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Did you read the book?" And he's just laughing no. It's like, Joel's a dad, man. He knows dad jokes, okay? But as they're going to bed here,
she does the classic, Joel, you awake? You up?
And he's ignoring her. He's awake. We see he's awake. She can't. And she's like, Joel! He's like, what? What's he say? What's she say, Kim?
I don't know.
She said, "Did you know that diarrhea is hereditary?" And he's got this what the fuck are you talking about? Looking at the fact that he already has.
He doesn't say anything, and she's just like, "Yeah, it runs in your genes."
And he chortles.
Yeah, this is a Joel laugh. We've got a Joel laugh.
It's that's fucking stupid. She's like, "You laughed, motherfucker."
Yep, she's got.
And he's like, "No, I didn't." It's like, "Yes, you did." He's like, "Go to bed." And she's like, "You go to bed." And then they just both start laughing really fucking hard at it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's and you see an actual genuine grin on his face, and I'm like, "That's awesome. We got some bonding." And then they wake up, and Ellie's already got a gun pointed at her. She's already up, and Joel wakes up, and he's got a Ninja Turtle with a gun pointed on him.
Yeah.
And that's is that pretty much that whole episode?
That's that episode, yeah.
That episode's 45 minutes long.
Yep.
So a lot of it's just the shootouts.
It's set in the
there's
scene.
not a lot of it's not a lot of substance in that one. We get a little bit of the bonding, and it's definitely it's
setting the setting.
It is setting the setting. That's right.
Wise words. I'd say it's definitely it's definitely a little jarring coming from episode 3 being this big, long episode, tight, contained story. We got it all in there it's did we accomplish stuff in this episode? I like the episode, but this episode by itself doesn't feel...
It doesn't stand by itself.
Yeah, I'm always going to remember episode 3. So this is we finished this episode, I'm okay, I understand why Daniel wanted to do 4 and 5 together, because clearly we're going to tie up what happened in 4 and 5.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
So we open episode 5 with, is it back in the the quarantine zone where Kathleen is interrogating all the prisoners.
All right, so this is 10 days ago.
Right, now, they didn't explicitly say that, or did I miss it?
They do.
Did they really say that?
I think, yeah.
Oh, see, I was confused, because I'm like...
But they don't say it right at the start, which is probably what's confusing.
Oh, okay, because here's where I'm like, oh, well, I fucked up, because she's talking to the people, they're trying to get these people to rat on Henry.
Or maybe they do.
And they're saying, well, I didn't see it either way. We just watched before we came in here, but I easily miss shit all the time. She's asking them, like, for information on Henry, and she's like, you guys were all, like, informants for Fedra.
Mm-hmm.
You were turning in members of the Resistance so you could get medicine and something else, and then fucking apples. So, what? Like, talk to me. Like, okay, start shooting. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, and someone spills, like, okay, the doctor was helping them. Well, but they don't say the doctor. They say someone's name. We don't know the doctor's name. They're like, oh, well, he was a lot more subtle than you idiots. And she walks out of the room, and she tells Perry, okay, he's like, are we really going to put him on trial? And she's like, what? No, be sure to burn the bodies. It's easier. And Kim asks, like, is she really going to just kill all of them? And I said, well, she just killed the doctor, so
no,
nobody
she hasn't
matters.
just killed the doctor.
But she hadn't killed them yet.
Yeah, right.
Because the person they ratted out
was the doctor.
So
this was reminding me of this whole Henry collaborating with Fedra and all these other collaborators was reminding me of Battlestar Galactica when they had Cylon collaborators, and then I see Peanut in the background.
I was also checking to see if you were picking up the airplane.
No,
but
now I'm distracted by the peanut in the background.
Yeah, cat.
But so Cylon collaborators, and so Gaius Baltar fucks over way more people by shutting down the defense grid.
Spoilers.
To the planet and letting the planet get nuked. And he got a trial.
That's civilized society, though.
That's true.
Also, I almost spoiled that show so bad for a coworker. I didn't realize he hadn't seen it because he's like, "Oh, I'm watching the new Battlestar Galactica."
The new one.
Well, because he had just watched the old one.
Wow.
This is an older fella, and I was like, "Oh, it's crazy! Who turned out to be Cylons and didn't even know it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you've seen it, right?" And he's like, "Oh no, I haven't watched the new one yet." I'm like, "I'm gonna shut up."
No one's a Cylon.
Well, I don't know. I'd never really watched the old one, so I'm like, I don't know what was different.
I have no idea either.
But if we ever do a Battlestar pod, his review was, I love that Starbuck in the original was a man and he was a whore, and Starbuck in the new one is a female and she's a violent whore. I'm like, what the
I don't really think she's that much of a whore, but...
his words, not mine. You can cut that, but while it was fresh on my mind.
We'll edit that out for our Battlestar podcast. That's my fault. I brought it up because I just wrote a lot of that down. I also, because here's where we learned that Sam is deaf. So him and Henry only communicate through American Sign Language.
Mm-hmm.
We assume. I don't know American Sign Language.
Yeah,
so.
Did we verify that? Because there's the American Sign Language and...
But there's
the
also
British...
Now I thought this would be I thought this would be racist, but this is a fact. There's also Black Sign Language.
Oh.
There's lots of sign languages. Surely in other countries they don't use American Sign Language.
No, they don't. But this is American Black Sign Language. This isn't, I don't think, but it's a thing apparently. Unless it's not.
Like Ebonics for sign language.
Yeah.
Is that because you thought one of them threw up a gang sign?
No.
You're so...
I'll tell you how I learned this, because I listened at work today. I listened to all of the official podcasts on this, hosted by Troy Baker.
Yeah, the one they list on HBO.
Yeah,
to
that's
go
the
check
one.
Out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well, don't steal anything from them.
I'm
because
trying
that's the
not
better
to.
source.
Well, they're a lot more intelligent, and they're involved in.
Okay, but how much butt fungus?
Zero butt fungus.
Then they are not more intelligent. This is the pod to go to.
Zero butt fungus.
Oh God. I mean, that's hard. That's hard to survive, especially when you can't hear.
Which,
also
led to me thinking, like, so in the game he's not deaf, and then I was thinking, how would that work in a game where you if you traveling around with a deaf character who could only communicate with sign language, it would be difficult because
you have to be in line of sight.
In line of sight, and normally you have free control of the camera to look wherever the fuck you want.
Yeah,
and they would have to animate all that. And I was trying to think if there had been a game that had like done that, but I don't know.
I wonder if they made him deaf in this just for the payoff at the end.
I mean, you could listen to that podcast to find out why.
Well, you can tell me when we get to that part.
I don't remember.
Do you remember the payoff?
No, I remember the payoff. I don't remember why.
Oh, okay. That's more fun to speculate than to know.
Right. So I'll just pretend I don't know.
Yeah. So, they just happened to hire a deaf kid.
Well, they might have.
He's cute.
I don't think that was the case, but
he's cute. Look.
They also aged him down from where he was in the game.
Kayvon Woodard.
He's a cute kid.
Yeah, no, I like him. I don't know that I've. Oh, he might actually be deaf. He played a deaf student.
He is deaf.
Something. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So that's like he played someone.
You know what? He might
actually
student. Be black.
I doubt it. Remember that time that you accused them people in that one movie of having us being special needs and then acting not special needs for a second? That was a good time.
I just thought they was a really good actor.
How'd they get that special needs person to act not special needs?
Well, the thing is, like Forrest Gump, Tom Hanks isn't special.
I think he's got a great future.
He's a good actor, is all.
Yeah, but you implied the opposite.
Did I?
You implied that was a special needs actress who acted not special.
No.
We roll back that bean footage.
That may have been what I said, but that's not what my brain told me to say.
That's because you're special needs too, buddy.
Yeah.
So she's killed a bunch of people after the doc was ratted out. We find out that's the doc. We cut again to, I guess maybe this happened simultaneously. We've got Henry and Sam being led to the hiding place by Dr. Edelstein, which is that attic we seen in the previous episode.
Yep.
And they're counting out their food, and they're like, look, we've got maybe 11 days worth of food. That's our timeline. We got to figure out how to get out of here. Like, they won't find us up here, most likely. So that's what we got to do. So he gives Sam the crayons.
Says this place is ugly.
Yeah, it's like trying to distract him, like, from being scared. Because the doctor says, like, he's scared because you're scared.
After
like,
how many days of drawing do you get bored of it? Like,
well,
that's all you have to do up there.
He was born without anything like that we have. Like, there was never any TV.
I guess that's true.
So, like, drawing might be the best he's got. Plus, he's deaf. So that's even less things in that world he would potentially
maybe bring
have
some
to
books
distract.
up there. I don't know.
He has issues 5, 6, and 8.
Of Savage Starlight?
Endure and survive.
All right.
No, it's survive.
Survive. We all did the sign language correctly. Trust us. So what? We do a 10-day jump, and Sam and Henry are there, and
they're like, I guess the doctor guy hasn't come back for a day or so, and they're like, is he gonna come back?
They've got 1 can of food left.
And then they're like,
Henry's
okay,
like,
he's not coming back. He's probably dead.
Right. Now, here's my thing where I know these guys, that Henry's not like a survivor. Like, he hasn't had to do that. Realistically, you got 11 days of food there before you need more. You have to eat again. You do not wait until you deplenish your entire supply before you move to get more.
Well, the doctor was the one going out and getting them stuff.
Well, the doctor, I think they were waiting on getting out of there. They weren't expecting him to get more food. They said 11 days to get our plan.
Oh, maybe.
So
maybe the doctor got caught trying to find a way out. Yeah, okay.
Possibly. But you don't wait till the 11th day. You go out at the latest the 10th day, so you have something to eat while you're out there to get you another.
Well, I think they were waiting for the search to cool down for them, but it never did.
They should have known that was never going to happen. You pissed off a soccer mom.
You should never piss off a soccer mom who might be in love with her brother.
Maybe, but like it was your time to bring snacks, and she brought really good snacks last time, and then you brought prepackaged snacks that possibly had peanut butter in them, and half those kids have peanut butter, so now she had to go scramble to get better snacks, and now she's pissed and she'll murder you. I can easily see a soccer mom going off And by soccer mom, I mean any sports mom. That's just a generic term for sports moms. Look, it's serious business. Don't get on the wrong side of a soccer mom. That's all I'm
And
saying.
that is the theme of Last of Us.
Yeah, soccer moms survive
it's
because
not
they
whatever bullshit
they went.
what I was going to say about tribalism and cycles of violence. No. Soccer moms.
Soccer moms. They're gluten free because that's better for their kids who have all the allergies and whatnot, and that's why they survive. We determine you're either gluten free or you're a homosexual because fungus doesn't survive butt lube.
I'm just reminded of the kid in Home Movies who he moved away to the desert to be a lizard.
I mean, I don't.
Yeah, you don't remember that?
He survives.
Well, yeah, he's out in the desert being a lizard.
I'll show Kim Home Movies one of these days. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Oh God, Brendan Small, you are a legend. So they have to bolt. Like, okay, we have to get out of here. I've been this is Henry talking to Sam. Like, I've been watching their patterns. I've seen we can scuttle out of here. So they get down to the area there the next day.
They get ready to scuttle, but then
he's like, I don't hear anything.
And then crash, and then blat 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 blat. It's Joel.
And I love when shows or movies cut back to a scene we've already seen and give it to us from another angle. I don't care if it's an action scene. I don't care if it's just like side by side, like two people talking like dialogue. I don't know why. I just love seeing that from someone else's perspective at some other point in time. So actually getting to see like Joel put down some of these, fellas from across the street, like it's like, ooh, yeah. It's like we get some, I don't know.
He did a shimmy, everybody.
I did it. I just did a shimmy. I like it. I like it. So that's when Henry gets the idea, like, okay, that guy is a killer. And he's clearly not with them. So maybe we just
do a classic team up, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess we don't get to see it, but Henry's following Joel and Ellie, like tracking their movements.
Uh-huh.
So, and we established earlier, we now know that the guns that they pulled on Joel and Ellie were empty because when they're doing a supplies like checklist, Henry asked the doc, "Hey, you got any ammo?" Doc says, "No. What about you?" And Henry's like, "No." So we know their guns are empty. So they go with a bluff. They step on one piece of the glass. That doesn't wake Joel.
Because he's sleeping on the wrong side.
Yeah. Classic Joel. They sneak through the room, and then they get the jump on him. And that's when it's like, okay, look, I've got guns pointed at you. I didn't hurt you. You're not going to hurt me. We're going to be cool. I just want to talk.
Joel's face during this, he is so mad.
Because he dropped the ball.
Yeah.
And Ellie's like, yeah, okay, that's fine. And then Henry's like, no, he needs to say it too. It's like, yeah, or something like that. Like, just sounds like, and she's like, nope, his face. Nope, It's like, he just sounds like an asshole all the time. Joel, will you say that it'll be fine? It's fine. Like,
yeah. He big man.
It's just like Joel's
Can I sit up now?
Yeah,
That's what
he
says.
Yeah, it's like,
think about it. You just woke him up from his little sleep. He was having a good little sleep, and now he's awake.
He laughed himself to sleep. Maybe peed a little bit.
Probably peed a little bit.
Laughter.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just funny that Joel can't be not. It's like, Joel, man, if that was like an actual loaded gun and they really didn't need you for survival, they probably would have just shot you. Because you're clearly giving off big "I will kill you" vibes.
Yeah.
So we got a uneasy temporary truce here. So Henry, do we jump back to the revolutionaries who are? What was the thing they said earlier? They're dragging bodies around, and Sam was hiding Henry's hiding Sam's eyes from it, and they're saying any anti-revolutionary people will be shot. And it's like, okay, but at what point do we get the anti-revolutionary?
I mean, at this point, you're like, I love the revolution.
Yeah, it's great.
I was the first one to love the revolution.
But they're dragging a body behind a truck with like a bunch of knives in it and stuff. And the reason I point that out is Henry tells Joel that Fedra's gone, they've been overturned, and Joel's like, weren't they? Like, we always heard rumors of how bad they were, and Henry's like, yeah, like rape, torture, murder, but you do that to people for 20 years. What's going to happen to those people?
Cycles of violence. Yes.
Yeah, so I would say like it's a good like representation of like just like cycles of violence. Like it just the violence keeps repeating itself. Like you keep doing all this violence onto
you
these
did this
people.
fucked up shit to me, so now I'm gonna do this fucked up shit to you. And then
It's amazing it took you so
I've
long.
done this fucked up shit to you again, you're gonna do this fucked up shit back to me again. Cycle, which is I would say
It's violence.
the big theme of part 2.
Huh. The game.
Part 2 of the
2,
game,
not,
yeah. Is
not
cycles of violence, tribalism, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I can't believe that didn't dawn on you until I just said it like a second ago.
No, if only I had said that earlier, right?
If only. Henry also points out that he was an informant for Fedra. Joel comes back and says, "Oh, I'm not going to work with a rat."
So, oh yes, you are.
Oh, yes, you are, and here's why.
I know about these tunnels.
Like, I know you came up here to look over the city to find a way out. I know the city. And Joel says, well, then why do you need me? Because I'm not a killer. I seen you kill those guys across the street. I know what you're capable of. I came up here with like empty guns.
I was unarmed.
Yeah, like the me pointing an empty gun, an unloaded gun at you was the closest to violence I've ever gotten. So right there, he admitted to Joel, we don't have bullets, man.
Yeah.
So Joel could have just said, all right, fuck you. But Joel wants out of the city. And at this point, Ellie has kind of already started bonding with Sam.
Yes, and
the reason
Henry tells Joel that the reason there's no infected in the city is because Fedra had pushed all of them underground.
Which, how do you do that?
I don't know. Like a broom?
Also, like, if they're all underground and no one up on top has been getting infected, when we see the infected later, there's a lot of relatively fresh-looking
I don't think
infected.
there are.
You think they're all clickers?
I think every one you see is a clicker.
Were they?
Well, with the exception of
ones?
one.
Yeah, the dickhead-looking ones?
Yeah. Except for the big
Except for the bloater,
dude.
Yeah. The bloater.
Yeah, the Hulk.
That was impressive. If I was turned into one, I would look like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big boy. But they said...
But it's also implied that this was a thing that Fedra was, like, actively managing, and now that Fedra's gone, that's why things are getting out of control underground.
But you'd think if they got them all underground, they could more easily just kill them. Henry had heard from one of the Fedra people that they cleared it out 3 years ago. These tunnels...
They cleared the tunnels out.
Yes. The tunnels. But when they say they have them underground, I'm assuming they meant the tunnels, not just they somehow fucking buried them all or something.
Yeah, I don't know. But it isn't.
Why are they just?
Personally, I wouldn't put them underground because fungus likes that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make them happy.
I would
put them in the desert with that kid who's a lizard.
Yeah.
Fungus hates the. You know what? That's a good. Why wouldn't you move to the desert?
Well, what are you gonna eat?
Cacti.
What are you gonna drink?
Cacti.
You never think about these things.
Vegas, man, it's fine.
How much water does Vegas have to, like, import?
All of it.
Okay, so you probably don't want to live there.
Yeah.
It's fine. If I'm the only one there, I'm the only one who thought of going to Vegas. Everyone else left.
Okay.
It's gotta rain there at some point. Anywho, they're under the ground, and I'm just like, are they just down there, like, tunneling around? Because they're causing that weird sinkhole in the building. It's like, what are you guys even doing down there, man? Are you mole people?
So I think that's I think that's fungus is what that is.
You think the way it was moving though, like Kim said, it looked like it was alive. I'm just like, they move as a swarm.
Yeah.
I think that's just them all moving, and it's just causing all the, like, they hear the people up there, so maybe they're trying to, like, tunnel.
Maybe. I don't know. It's a weird thing, a cool weird thing.
Like, I want to see the behind. Like, I want to give me the shot of them down wherever they are.
With
I
their
want
little
to know.
Pickaxes.
Yeah, a bunch of, like, clicker Steves.
Yeah.
So okay, so we've established they're possibly underground, but we got a tunnel, and we can get to this tunnel, which will allow us to bypass the barricades they have set up.
Get around the 4 highways that are locking us in.
Right, and then we can go through this residential area, make a right around this house, and there's a
bridge.
An embankment,
and then we can
cross a pedestrian bridge over the river.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes. So that's the plan. And we need Joel, because Joel can do some killing.
Mm-hmm.
So we got that. We got, like I said, Ellie and Sam are bonding. Which I forgot to explain. Sam is the Ninja Turtle,
Right.
Because Sam's the one been drawing all these superhero things. So Henry takes like wall house paint,
just some industrial lead paint.
Yeah, and paints it orange across his face. And Kim's like, it's like a Ninja Turtle. I'm like, he is like a Ninja Turtle. I'm kind of jealous. I want to be a
Ninja Turtles.
So he looks dope, I think. But we get, let's see.
In the tunnel, and there's, like, it looks like...
It's clear.
It's clear, and it's got, like, a little civilization going on down there with all the education
So this
stuff,
is interesting.
right?
This,
Yes.
I thought, was a missed opportunity, because this is from the game, and you learn all about Ish and his little settlement here through, like, a series of notes that you pick up while just wandering around. And I thought it would have been cool to do a standalone episode on that.
Just to actually show it.
Yeah.
Because you meet
No,
Ish?
you never meet Ish.
It's all through the notes.
It's all through the notes, and there's a drawing
So
of
who's...
Ish and Danny.
Yeah, so in games and whatnot, a lot of times if you go around and you pick up everything, like especially in bigger games like this, there are all sorts of sub-stories that you can learn about.
Like environmental storytelling.
Yeah, so you never actually see these characters, but you can sometimes get some pretty deep stories from just going around and picking up all these notes.
Kind of like the what's that one game that you're playing that book?
What I'm playing.
Guardians of the Galaxy, where you follow Peter.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah,
and you have like
you pick up a lot of things.
And you have like the little side stories.
Mm-hmm. Like that, or more recently, like when I'm playing God of War, you see me reading little lore tablets and stuff, where you're learning about all sorts of stuff that you're never gonna see in the game. But it's stuff that helps fills up the world, and it's stuff like that. That's why I think like episode 3 was important.
Right.
You got to fill this world so you care about what's going on in this world.
And I just thought, like when I heard they were doing a show, I thought for sure that they would do an episode on this.
You remember the basic rundown of the story we learned on them?
So now this is when it was in Pittsburgh. Ish was like a sailor guy, and he was out at sea when when everything broke bad with the infection. So he comes back, gets all paranoid, lives underground in this bunker-like place, but then gradually goes out and meets people, brings them in, and basically builds this small little community underground.
So like the opposite of Frank.
The opposite of Frank, yeah.
Yeah, where he's wanting to bring people into his safe haven there.
And eventually someone in the settlement accidentally leaves a door open and they get overrun with infected. But Ish and like 2 other people and some kids survive. And I think you find their last note in the motel, I think.
That same motel that...
So theoretically, this person's still alive out there.
Like Kim said, that same motel we end up at the end of the episode?
Maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure. Because this was game stuff when it was in Pittsburgh, right?
Right. And they don't have motels anywhere else.
Yeah.
Right.
That wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, never. So they stop in this like classroom type thing. There's toys and stuff. Ellie and Sam are immediately like wanted to dick around with some of the toys and whatnot. Joel wants to move on. Ellie's like, what? There's finally stuff for us to do, man. Can we just sit here? Henry points out it probably would be best to wait for some of the light to go down before we come out of the other side of the tunnel so we're not like fully exposed, which turns out to be a smart move. So we get more bonding. We get some, Sam and Ellie are playing soccer. They're talking about their comic books. Because Sam finds a comic book, which I'm like, well, that's a lot more appropriate than the last magazine that Ellie found, which we didn't talk about. Ellie's in the back seat of the pickup truck earlier, and she finds one of the gay porno mags.
Mm-hmm.
And she pulls out the centerfold, and Joel's like, well, no, put that down, put that away. He's like, look, I just want to see what all the fuss is about. She's like, how did he walk with that thing? What the heck? And then tosses it out the window. I can't believe I forgot to bring up, we implied there was a massive dong. But yeah, they're comic books, and that's when they get to endure and survive, which Henry and Joel bond over at some point to like endure and survive. Like, isn't that a bit redundant?
Yeah.
Yeah, so dumb.
But down here is where Henry tells Joel basically what he did to get himself into this trouble, and that is that Sam, what was it, leukemia?
Sam had leukemia,
and the only way to get the medicine was to work with Fedra, and so he turned in the revolutionary leader to get the medicine.
Kathleen's brother.
Yes, and that's why she big mad.
So he's like, yeah, I did a bad guy thing. I'm a bad guy. This is what he's saying. He's like, and this is her brother. So you really think she's just gonna let it go? Joel understands, though. I mean, I think, is it later at the motel he tells him, like, look, I would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
And from what we've seen from Joel, we know he would have. He wouldn't have hesitated. It's pretty astounding they were able to, like, get this kid over his leukemia and this...
Yeah, isn't leukemia like a... Isn't that like a long treatment?
That's why I said, like, it couldn't have been, like, 10 days ago.
Didn't Walter White have leukemia?
It's a cancer of the blood.
Yeah, so it's not...
it's a very long...
And I don't think it's one of the ones you have a real easy time getting rid of, but I'm not a doctor.
I'm not a
leukemia
I don't know if we've ever said this on the podcast.
They killed the doctor, okay? We could have asked him, but they
did kill the doctor. Yeah. She's big crazy. So, yeah. So he did a bad thing for what he thought was worth it. And we'll talk. We get out of there. It's nighttime. I'm jumping to this because I want to talk about when her encounter with Henry. It's nighttime. We get out of the tunnel. They're walking down the street. Like, Henry's like, my plan's fucking awesome. We're great. Joel's like, shut up, man. Everyone like, shut up. And then gunshots start coming, and there's a sniper in the tower, but it's nighttime. So he's not really hitting them. He's hitting the vehicles and stuff around
he's
them.
not hitting them not because it's nighttime. He's not hitting them because he's bad.
Well, that's what Joel says. But Joel also tells Ellie, like, in the previous episode, like, he's not a very good shot either. But when push comes to shove, he makes some fucking shots.
And that's why I believe Joel when he says this guy's a shit shot.
Yeah. I think the nighttime, though, absolutely helps.
Well, it's nighttime and it's an old man. He can't see so good.
Yeah, so Joel looks at Ellie. He's like, I'm going to go around to the building. He's a shit shot. You stay here. Don't move. You won't get shot. Ellie's like, are you going to be okay? Like, you can't do that. He'll see you coming. He's like, do you trust me? And then she's like, yes. So they're hiding behind a car. Joel manages to work his way up the tower behind the guy, pulls a gun on him. It says, okay, put the gun down.
Put the gun down, fight like a man.
Fight like a man. Put the gun down, slide it over, and then you're going to stay here for an hour. And the guy's sitting there holding the gun, and Joel's like, please.
This is an old guy.
Yeah, like older than Joel even.
An ancient.
In his 50s.
This is an ancient guy. If it were up to me, he would have been thrown into a volcano by now.
Oh, for sure. He would have fit right along. He would have been a nice, perfect part to make a throuple with Bill and Frank. Like, that's how old he was.
He's older than that.
Maybe. They were ancient when they finally killed him.
Yeah.
He doesn't do it. He turns, Joel shoots him.
Yep, suicide by cop. See it all the time.
Pretty much. Joel's still in the tower. He hears a radio going off, and the radio's telling this old man, just hold them there. We're almost there.
Yeah, it's
so
Kathleen on the radio.
Yeah, Joel's like, oh, fuck. So Joel is yelling through the window as loud as he can, run! Run! They can barely hear it where they're at because they're so far away. And then we got cars coming up, and the person in the front vehicle with the plow on is like, there's cars everywhere. And Kathleen's like, that's why you're in the front, idiot.
Yeah.
Drive through it. So they are...
You stupid.
So they plow right through the cars. Ellie, Sam, and Henry have to, like, take off running. Joel's trying to take shots at the plow truck, and he's missing. I mean, he's hitting the truck, but he's not able to get a shot in at the driver. It's only until the driver is a lot closer, Joel's able to finally get the shot off after Ellie falls down. The truck swerves, crashes into a building, catches on fire. Now, they're trapped for a second, and then it blows up. They get distracted, and they're trapped again.
They're hiding behind a car, yeah.
They're hiding behind a car.
Kathleen says, like, Henry, like, come out. Like, Henry's like, well, let the kids go, and I'll come out. Kathleen says, no, because the girl, came with the man who killed Brian, and well, Sam, he's with you, so no.
And then he's like, she's like, what? They're just kids. They shouldn't die. It's like, what are you talking about? Kids die all the time.
Yeah, like she says it so nonchalantly, and then this is when she points out, like, you defied fate. Maybe Sam was supposed to die.
Like, fuck you.
And yeah, and you did do it. And God, what was my point from earlier? Talking about the world doesn't revolve around him. That was my point. She says the world doesn't revolve around Sam. My counterpoint is to Henry, it does.
Right.
Sam, and to Joel, his family's what matters.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a little. I think she's a little bit of a hypocrite there because
big.
it's like, the world doesn't revolve around him, but here she is, tearing everything up just to get revenge for her brother. She's like,
the hypocrisy is very, very on the nose.
This
so obvious.
I'm actually really glad because this character is not in the game.
Do you like her?
Yeah, I'm very glad that they included someone like this because it kind of serves as foreshadowing for what is to come much later down the road.
Mm-hmm. Now, I like these 2 episodes because this is one of those things where everyone always talks about in these post-apocalyptic worlds where we have some sort of creature is the reason humanity's mostly wiped out. After a certain amount of time, they are no longer your main concern for survival. It's the other people. The other people have been the danger for all this. And in fact, when we do eventually get the infected here, it kind of helps our heroes out in a big way.
Yeah, they would have been screwed. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. So Henry tells
to come out.
Ellie and Sam, like, okay, Ellie, you take Sam and run here in a second. And Henry's like, okay, I'm coming out. Henry pops up. That's when Kathleen's given that big spiel about, like, maybe you should have died. All that shit. The truck that has crashed into the house with the plow on it, that blew up, has now started sinking into the ground. Now, this has drawn all the attention. And they have a small, like, armed force with them. Like, it's a good amount of people.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't, like, 4 or 5 people. This is probably their entire forces, which is ridiculous considering, well, now everyone else is unprotected, but whatever. The truck starts sinking into the ground, which we're immediately like, oh yeah, that sinkhole from earlier. And then a World War Z style swarm of clickers comes flying out of that hole. And they start firing, and then we hear like a couple big thumps. And
Big Boy Bloater.
Big Boy. Yeah, he comes out. Perry tells Kathleen, like, just go, don't look back. He's trying to take it out. Kim's like, are they together? And I'm like, I think he's just like a very infatuated follower. Like he would die for her, and he's going to.
He's protective in a way that, he was protective in a way that made me think like he cares about her.
He's simple.
Right.
Yeah.
He also, we didn't have to expand on his character because we can just assume a bunch of different things. He either was infatuated with her, or maybe was infatuated with her brother. Which they all seem like they loved. They had to have really loved her brother to just fall in line behind her.
And I think now these people are basically projecting the brother onto her when she is not the
Pretty
brother.
much. She's not. Oh, she's definitely not. So the clickers come swarming out. They're all focused on that. Joel's taking some shots to try to like keep Ellie safe. They're all scrambling. Ellie gets separated from Sam and Henry. Ellie spots an open window in the back of a vehicle that she can try to crawl through, so she does. Joel has to take some shots to get her there. She's in there, and then we get to the part that just bothers me.
Oh, cool shirt alert.
Cool shirt alert. Creepy kid clicker. Like little girl clicker rolls in there. Now that doesn't bother me. I'm okay with kid monsters.
Are you bothered by her Blue's Clues shirt?
Her Blue's Clues shirt. No, it's how she keeps flipping over the seats and it's all bendy and twisty.
Yeah, you don't
and
like that.
It is well established. I don't like bendy, twisty
things. If she had like started just talking about some emotional trauma too, that would have been.
Oh, that would have bothered me too. But emotional bendy people are my kryptonite.
Yeah.
Like, don't twist your head 180 degrees and tell me about your feelings.
Yeah.
Okay? I'll die on the spot. And so Ellie's stuck in the car with that, so like, shit. So she has to get out. So she does. She pops out, and that's when, again, chaos is happening everywhere. The big boy clicker has been like Hulk smashing things. He's we don't ever see him actually get put down. We just get out of the area.
Well, you can't.
Well, they see people are shooting at him,
Yeah.
but it's obviously not having any kind of effect
Real
on
effect.
him.
You gotta take them out with pipe bombs, Molotovs. They're not ready for
big
that.
explosion.
They haven't been crafting.
Yeah, no.
They've been gathering materials and crafting.
Gotta craft. Ellie spots Henry and Sam underneath another vehicle. This is the part where I'm like, there's no way none of them haven't been bitten yet.
Oh, you didn't know?
Yeah,
You didn't know what was coming?
I knew the end result, but I didn't remember exactly how it happened until we made it to the motel, and I'm like, okay, I know. I did a snap in case you couldn't hear that, like a snap and a finger point.
You gave me finger guns?
Gave you finger guns. So Ellie helps get them out from under the car. We get out of there. Joel comes down. They sneak out of there. The whole Kansas City group of people there they're demolished from the clicker swarm. The clickers are more focused on all the group of bodies, so the small group of Joel, Sam, Henry, and Ellie are able to just slink out the back. And we cut to them in a hotel.
As they're slinking out, Kathleen confronts them, and she gets karma for her "kids die all the time" comment because she gets jumped by a kid clicker.
The one that was after Ellie in the car.
And
Bendy girl
beats the shit out of her.
Yeah, that's what you get.
All the clickers run off to, I guess, towards the downtown areas. I'm
that's
assuming where all the other people are.
Yeah,
that's right. It's Friday night. It's party time.
Yeah.
Party time, downtown KC. Yeah. So we cut to a motel, and now we got, got
Henry and Joel, and Joel's basically saying, "Hey, Henry, do you want to join us? We're gonna go to Wyoming, right?"
Right. And this is the part where I look at Kim and I tell her, "You don't finish this game with people like it's Joel and Ellie." So
that's not true.
I mean, it's Joel and Ellie. I told her in the start of the 5th episode, I go, "Hey, hun," it's like, "Yeah, they're making us grow attached to Sam and Henry." And we know what that means. And sure as shit, we get in there. Ellie and Sam are still bonding. He's been teaching her sign language. Obviously, Joel trusts Henry a bit now. Like, you're going to come to Wyoming with us. I'll probably be walking. It's fine. You can come with us. The grown-ups tell the kids, like, okay, it's time for bed. Also, for most of these 2 episodes, Kim and I are assuming Sam is Henry's son. We find out that's his brother.
Right, it's his brother.
It's his brother. And so I think that's the part where Joel tells Henry, like, I would have done the same thing.
Uh-huh.
Sam and Ellie are in the room together, door shut, because they're supposed to be going to bed. Ellie gets back up, like, starts reading in the comic book to him, which he reads it out loud when they're supposed to be sleeping. It's like, this is the one time you can get by with reading it with just your mouth and not make any noise and not get caught.
That's true.
He's deaf.
That is true. But it wouldn't be as good for film.
No, I agree. But he puts a stop to it, and he wants to, like, ask her some questions. And he's like, what are you afraid of? Or, like, are you ever afraid? And she goes, like, why? Don't I look afraid? And he goes, never. And she says, I'm afraid of scorpions! And he just doesn't even react.
Scorpions!
And then she's like, okay, I'm afraid of ending up alone.
Uh-huh.
Which, hey, aren't we all, right? She asks him, what are you afraid of? And he writes, I'm afraid that when you become the monster, you're still trapped inside.
Red flag.
And she's like, what? And he pulls up his pant leg, and he's been bitten.
Yeah.
And it's already, you see the little fungal vein going up his leg.
Yeah.
And he's like sad, and Ellie's like, she kind of panics. She shows him her arm, and she says, my blood is medicine. And she pulls out her knife, and he's like, no. And she cuts her hand and starts rubbing it on his leg. Now, look, that's not how it works. We all know how it works.
How does it work?
Like, you can't just smear some blood on someone. But, like, I was like, maybe a blood transfusion would potentially be a thing. Because there's diseases we treat with blood transfusions from people that happen to have some weird immunity to certain things. There was this one dude, I forget what disease it was, but he had donated, like, I think over 2,000 liters of blood in his lifetime.
Oh, yeah, he thinks he's so cool saving all those kids. Boo.
Yeah, like it cured like a disease in all those kids. So like a blood transfusion sometimes is just the cure, but smearing your cut hand on his open wound
It's
is
a
not a blood
very
transfusion.
childish response.
Right, but she's just hoping for something. So he's scared. He's like, "Will you stay awake with me?" She says yes. They give a big hug. I'm like, "Ah, god damn it." We cut to her asleep in the chair because she's weak sauce. She wakes up. He's sitting facing away from her.
He's
and I'm like,
basking, basking in the sun.
Yeah, he's okay. So she tries to call him out, call out his name, and she's like, "Oh yeah, deaf." So she goes over, taps him on the shoulder, and he's turned.
Yeah.
He attacks her. They go flying out through the door. She's fighting him off. Joel immediately wakes up to the struggle. He's like, "Oh, Ellie!" And like he's getting up, and he's like sees the gun. He's about to go for the gun. Henry grabs the gun first and points it at Joel. It's like, "Joel, stop!" And then Joel tries to like go towards Ellie to save her, and Henry fires at the floor near Joel, and Joel freezes. And then Henry like he takes a beat, and then he shoots Sam. Like instincts kicked in because you've been living in this apocalyptic world. You know what to do with infected. Instincts kick in. He shoots purely on instinct, and now he's still got the gun pointed at Joel, and he's looking over at the blood dripping out of his brother's head, and he's just like, "What have I done? What have I done?" Now Kim probably can't see much at this point because the waterworks are in full effect. Like she was bawling her eyes out. I had like I the tears didn't quite come, but I got that like full body chill where I'm just like, God damn it. And so he's pointing the gun at Joel, and I'm like, he's gonna turn it on himself. And Joel's like, put the gun down. I think Joel knows too. I don't think Joel feels like he's in danger here. I think he's
Joel knows.
Joel knows. And he's like, what have I done? What have I done? Henry turns the gun around on himself. Bang. Joel and Ellie are alone again.
Yep.
God, they make you care about characters and they fucking kill them. And it's so good. It works every time. Kim never learns. She's got only so many tears. She's about to cry again.
You gotta learn.
Big old crybaby.
You gotta learn.
So the payoff I was talking about with him is we've talked about how the fungus, the cordyceps, like when it takes over the body, it like heals some of the ailments. I wonder if he'd got to the point to become a clicker, if it would have healed his deafness. Could he have effectively become a clicker? Or he would have been the worst clicker ever.
He might have been the worst clicker ever.
Right. But the payoff thing was before he's a clicker, he's just a regular thing, and it hasn't healed his hearing yet. So he wakes up and he's just staring. Because he's not hearing anything, he's not attracted to anything else behind him. So the fact that he woke up and looked the way away from Ellie is what saved her from being attacked in her sleep. And he probably would have sat there until something moved in front of him or touched him.
Yeah, that's true.
Because there's nothing to draw him. So that, I think, maybe they just, well, you know the truth. Like he seemed probably this is a bit like the kid's hella cute. Like I'd watch that kid in anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was good and he acted his ass off. So it might have been a case where the best person we interviewed for this part happened to be deaf, so we worked that into the character, and it made everything more bleak. But they worked around it. That payoff of like, oh, this we can explain why it looks like he's not infected, but it turns out he is, and he didn't attack her. That's why at that point he didn't know she was there. It's my thoughts.
I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, my thoughts are your thoughts. Yes.
Now we cut to them burying the bodies. We had a convenient shovel somewhere.
That's true.
At the motel. Very convenient shovel. They're burying the bodies. Now, Kim here, her humanity's gone. I found.
Yeah, because I was like, why even bury it? Like, you're wasting all this energy.
Joel would not have buried them if not for Ellie.
That's exactly what I said. I said 2 weeks ago, Joel wouldn't even have considered burying these bodies. But at this point, it's important to Ellie. I'm willing to bet he didn't put up a fight at all.
If it was Ellie's idea, you mean?
Yeah, because it was Ellie's idea. Now, I do think, though, he would have considered if he had the chance to bury Tess. She was a loved one.
So this is our character evolving.
Yeah, that's what I said. He's no longer surviving. He's living. That's what we've been talking about, right?
They were pulling closer, but now I think because he's seen the danger in getting close to someone and that you can just lose them that quickly, I think he's going to pull away.
From Ellie?
Yeah.
But you've also seen the rest of the series, so you might know. But it tracks.
But
though.
I don't remember.
It's one of two ways he can go though. He can either hold her so tight because he is scared of losing her, or he is going to push her back like, oh no, I started to care for this person. She's just cargo. I don't want to be hurt again like I was when my daughter was killed. So I can easily see it going either way. But it's hard to not care for someone when you've already like opened that door. He already laughed at the diarrhea joke.
That's true.
So it's over. He
laughed at a butt thing.
He laughed at a butt thing, which he would love our podcast. Butt stuff all over the place. Ellie brings over the little like magnetic writing pad thing that Sam used for a lot of his communication.
Yeah.
And puts it down in the grave, and then she walks away, and she's like, Joel, which way is west or whatever? And she starts walking that way. Joel looks down and sees on the notepad she wrote, like, I'm sorry. Now that's where like I got chills. I'm like, oh god damn.
But so that was kind of confusing to me. Like, what is she sorry? Like, I don't understand what she's sorry
she couldn't
about.
save him. She's sorry that he died that way. She's sorry that her blood couldn't cure him because she's
but
sorry.
It's not like
it's not her fault.
Yeah.
None of it's her fault. But
this will probably provide further motivation for her to want to complete the journey.
Like we'll find out more about her backstory and stuff. Why she would be willing to potentially lay it all on the line so she could save all the kids of the world, all the Sams.
Yeah,
like that's who she's saving at this point. Like from here on out, it's Sam and maybe another character that she's like, if I had been able to get to these people to make the cure a long time ago, these people never would have died. I have to go be this person.
The cure.
The cure. At all costs. Like, we need to move on. I need to do it. Now, she goes cold. Like, on this walk away here, like, she is all business. And seems like Joel's kind of taken aback from it a little bit. He's like, oh.
It's almost as if they've, like, reversed roles a little bit, isn't it? To me, anyway.
For that ending bit there, that's how I feel, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's, so effective, though. God, I got chills again just talking about the I'm sorry note. Like that.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I thought, though, he was going to pick it up and write me too.
Joel. Me too, Joel.
Joel. Me too. Signed Joel. XOXO.
XOXO.
Gossip Girl. Gossip Joel. So, this is just another stopping point on our trip to find Tommy and a trip to get to some people to work on the cure. These stopping points are important for our characters because, well, it's causing their growth to, branch off in more interesting ways instead of just
I am the transporter, you are the cargo.
Right. It forces them to spend more time together in more extreme situations. It forces us to, again, see more of this world that will try to explain why certain people are acting the way they do. Like, it's a bleak world, man. Even when people... So it's not just Fedra. That's important. Fedra aren't the only potential bad guys out there.
No, because people suck.
People suck. This is a rough world.
Yeah.
I mean, yep. So now we got Ellie and Joel. Made it through Kansas City. We're on foot now. No truck.
You just have to get all resources. The way to Wyoming. No biggie.
They're probably in Kansas now. It looked like it sucked. It's fine. Look, all the states around here, they're all the same thing. Except for Nebraska. That one is flat and boring.
Okay.
Well, there goes all your Nebraska listeners.
I'm just saying. I spent time in Nebraska. Hella good bowling out there.
Because it's so flat?
That probably helped.
Yeah.
But probably because there wasn't a whole lot else to do there, so they built bowling alleys and they all got really good at bowling.
I mean, we say there's nothing to do. What does that mean?
Means, like, there's not a lot of industry driving people to Nebraska.
Industry? What does that mean?
Like, you got farms. You know what farms do? They take up a lot of land for farm stuff. You know, if you're taking up a lot of land with farm stuff, what you probably don't have a lot of? People. If you don't have a lot of people, you're not built... What'd you say?
Fungus.
Oh, I thought you said fucking. No.
That's true. If you don't have a lot of people, there's probably not a lot of fucking.
Which means not a lot of fungus.
Not a lot of butt stuff.
That's what Daniel
never,
took the words right out of my mouth.
You took the butt stuff right out of your
You took
mouth.
the butt stuff right out of my mouth. Clap, clap, clap.
There was these 2 episodes not gay enough. Well, we had
Okay,
one
if
gay
I could
magazine.
criticize these 2 episodes, right? Going up. So the last episode, super gay, loved it. Next one, not gay enough.
Not gay enough.
Okay, but if you had to rank the episodes,
We're through 5 now.
yeah, if you had to rank them, what would
And I'm okay with you saying 1 and 2 are an episode, 3 is an episode, and 4 and 5 are an episode.
yeah.
Oh. 5, 3, or no, 3, 5,
1.
3, 5, 1, I guess then.
Yeah, you like the Kansas City arc better than the opening
No, I
arc?
said 3, 5, 1.
Yeah. So
Oh.
you like the Kansas
Yeah,
City
yeah,
arc
yeah.
better than the opening
Yeah,
arc?
I feel nothing from the opening.
Yeah, it's nice to see Joel smile.
Mm-hmm. It's really just episode 2, I think, drags that opening arc down.
It does, and honestly, episode 4 though is like it's all build up for episode 5.
Mhm.
Like it was 45 minutes, but I think we spent 20 minutes talking about it. We had 2 hours worth of
No, we
episodes.
spent 40 minutes talking about it.
You think?
I know.
We had like 2 hours worth of episodes, roughly, maybe a little less. We're right at our runtime for the episodes here. It's like an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So like a lot happened, but a lot of it's just on-screen action. Now, we didn't really do too much of how much this diverged from the games. Like we know it was in Kansas City instead of Pittsburgh.
It's really just the Kathleen character.
Yeah, so it's just who's in charge of hunting Sam and Henry in the game.
So in the game, they're not hunting Henry and Sam because Henry and Sam are just traveling through the area like Joel and Ellie are.
Mm-hmm. And they're
So
just
there's really no
avoiding...
motivation. There has been an uprising, and you're just avoiding these revolutionary people.
Okay.
But
So
there's
I'd like
no
to change...
characterization given to the revolutionaries.
Right, they're just
people.
Yeah.
generic revolutionary people. I like doing it this way because obviously you want to give us more of a reason to understand why they would even be crazily going after these people like this. So it makes sense. It still weirds me out seeing Melanie Linsky play such a just evil, horrible person because I don't recall her playing a character like that. Is she like that in Yellow Jackets?
No, not really.
Which I need to watch Yellow Jackets.
I mean,
right?
there's definitely an edge to the character, but not like this.
I mean, I need to make like a nice steak or have a nice stew, sit down and watch me some Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. We're going to watch Yellow Jackets at some point. I don't think we're going to do episodes on
We could. I'm telling you, we could.
I hear really good things. Our next TV series should either be Yellow Jackets or the girl in the house across the street from the woman in the window. No, the woman in the house across the street from the
And
girl
I
in the
seen
window.
the trailer for season 2, and it's got Elijah Wood.
For Yellow Jackets? Yeah. Which, that's him teaming up with the girl that he was in, what was it, The Good Son with?
I don't know. You tell me.
I think it was something like that. I don't know. I'm still enjoying the hell out of this season. I mean,
I am too.
did you agree with Daniel's rankings?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
What
still.
What are your predictions?
I can't say mine without ruining it for her. So let's just hear the completely uninformed on this series person's
We got 4 more
predictions.
episodes.
I don't really know. I kind of feel like there's gonna be something that's gonna go on with Tommy. Like I feel like Joel's gonna be disappointed at some point when he meets Tommy, and there's gonna be something that's gonna make Joel maybe question, like, was this journey all worth it just to find Tommy? Da 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 da. I don't know. And Ellie, I have no clue on.
How many more dead kids will we get?
5.
Jesus. How many more times? How many episodes do you say we got left? We just did 5. 4 more.
4.
So, if people want to put in the comments on this episode when you hear it and take your guess at how many more times that Kim is going to cry
7.
in this series.
I mean, technically, I cried twice in episode 5.
Right, but I'm talking the episodes we haven't seen yet.
I'll make a prediction on that. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1.
Wait, so does that count as one instance, or does
No. We're talking for stuff you haven't seen yet.
Oh.
So we're predicting for the next 4 episodes, which I
7.
haven't seen them yet. You think 7? I'm going to say it's at least 2.
I'm going to say 3.
You think 3 at minimum or 3 period?
I think there'll be 3 moments.
Okay.
I'm gonna...
I'm pretty emotional.
This show gets me. I'm also... The older I get, the more emotional I get. I cry over food when it's so good. I'm gonna say 2.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
2.
Actually, it's 4.
Fuck! Then I'm gonna say 3, because I wanted to say 3, but you said 3.
Yeah, I forgot about something. It's 4.
Okay, then I'm saying 3. With a bullet. Yeah, to the head.
I'm gonna say 7.
7. Well, you can't force yourself to cry, okay? It's your crying. Oh, Lord. Okay,
So are we doing the 6 and 7 together?
I think we
Or
can
6
just do
by itself?
individually from here on out.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I think so.
I think that's what we told Ryan we were doing. 4 more episodes.
Okay.
So, okay. Not enough butt stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Not enough gay stuff.
Not enough gay stuff.
Mhm.
Those things are not always the same thing.
Right, if I'm thinking... So, nah, we don't have to get into it.
They didn't. That was disappointing.
Yeah.
Was there anything that you feel like they dropped the ball? I guess the whole Ish story.
Yeah, they
You
could
wish
have...
they would've done
It's not really
that.
dropping the ball, but they could have done more with it.
You want them to do more with it.
I will say, there is a problem with The Last of Us in general and black people.
I mean, part 2 gets more diverse.
Not
Does it?
with black people.
What's their deal with black people?
They all die. So I was kind of hoping they would deal with it, but they didn't. They even kind of made it worse by having Sarah be black too.
Then kill her.
Yeah.
Well. And you look for those whelp signs. That's how you know where to check for the ending.
Right.
Classic
Whelp. That's a classic whelp sign right there.
Classic whelp. That's a classic whelp sign.
Can't miss it.
Can't miss it. We should bury these bodies. We should continue on our journey. So let's get the fuck out of here. And as always, I've been your horrible Ninja Turtle host, Kenny.
I'm your angry soccer mom, Daniel.
I'm Kim.
Still just Kim. And we will see you hopefully next weekend with more butt stuff.
Hopefully more butt stuff.
Bye-bye.